Hey there, welcome to LSea Yoga. My name is Laura, and today's practice is short but perfect if you are sick or tired, recovering from something. You may want some props, so maybe a block or some books, maybe a blanket, a bolster, cushion, just to help us out in a couple of the poses. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today in a simple seated position. So simple cross-legged, comfortable. You may want to sit up on something. And if you do, just to elevate the hips, maybe tilt the pelvis forward a little bit. So if you do, maybe something that you can make lower in the front than it is in the back. Just sort of customize that, and it'll help you sit tall. Legs can be in simple cross-legged, maybe in half lotus, whatever is comfortable. And sit tall. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Let the crown of the head reach away from the hips. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through an open mouth. Roll your shoulders back. Do that a few times. A little bit of motion. Hands can be on the knees or the thighs. Just rolling the shoulders gently forward and back. Just sending the shoulder blades down the back. After you've done that a few times, reverse the direction. Bring the shoulders forward. And then release that. Interlace your fingers behind the back and pull the arms toward straight. They don't have to be straight. Just stretch into the chest and the shoulders. We're not worried about what it looks like today. It's all about how it feels. So sort of feel your way through and what do you need, So if you need to turn from one side to the other, get a little extra stretch there. Feels particularly good if you've been coughing or just, sort of rounded forward. Stretch that out. And then release that and let the fingertips go behind the head. Maybe interlacing behind the back of the head at the top of the neck. And then let the chest go up toward the sky. So just a gentle back bend, but release your head into your hands. So there's no strain in the neck. Just opening up the top of the spine. Take deep breaths into the chest. Such a good one when you've been sick because you just round forward so much. Well, add a little side bend. So let your left hand go down and right arm up. Maybe bring that hand behind the head just to support the neck again as you start to tilt toward the left and turn the heart up toward the sky. You can look up or close the eyes again, just feeling your way through it. So feel into the side waist. Let your armpit go up and away from your bottom hand. Open that up. And then release and just simply switch sides. Now bending to the right. And then come on back to center. And we'll just rotate the torso a little bit again to open up a bit. So just let the chest go forward. So it's a little bit of a back bend. And then over toward the right, and then around toward the back. Complete the circle over to the left and then forward. And just simple circles like that. Rounding back, arching forward. Nice and slow. And close the eyes. Maybe let the head go. And you're inhaling to the front and exhaling to the back. And after a few rotations, switch sides. And come to a neutral spine, back to center. Interlace the fingers behind the back one more time and stretch the chest. And breathe into that. Open the shoulders. And release. Just a little bit of movement. And you can release that cushion. For the next, we're going to do a long-legged butterfly. So let the bottoms of the feet come together, knees go out to the side. And you can feel free to support the knees with something. You can place a block or a cushion underneath, just so that there's not too much strain. We're just going for a gentle stretch here. You can sit up on something, and that'll help tilt the pelvis forward, especially if you're feeling tighter. Maybe press the fingertips behind and just lean forward. Spine is long, chest going toward your toes. Deep breaths. And just let the hips open. Hands can come forward if your body lets you in. Just a gentle hip stretch. You can stay there, eyes closed, breathing deep. If you want to add a side bend, just walk the hands over toward the right, just a little. And just lean more into that right leg. And then walk the hands back to center and over toward the left. Now you can keep doing that, just sort of walking back and forth. Or you can go to the center and stay there if you prefer. Breathing deep into the hips. Now if you're walking the hands back and forth, come on back to center, and then push the hands into the ground and come on back up to sit. And here's where you may need a prop. I like to use a block for a supported bridge pose, but you may want a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a bolster. Roll down onto your back and bring your heels fairly close into the hips. And you want to have your prop nearby. We're going to slide it under the sacrum, which is the flat bone at the bottom of the spine. So it's sort of the top of your butt. So you're just going to lift the hips, press the feet into the ground, lift the hips a little, and slide that prop underneath there. You don't want it too high. If it feels like too much of a back bend, get something lower in there. Excuse me. Every week I do the practice that I need. and I definitely need this one this week. So you can stay there with the feet on the ground. If that doesn't feel like much, you may want to straighten one leg, maybe the other. And again, all that, if you've been sitting a lot or hunched over, just open up the hip flexors, psoas muscles, and just breathe into that. It should be a fairly gentle back bend, not too deep. So lower down if it feels like too much. Either that or bring the feet back to the ground. And just let that sink in. If anything feels like too much of a back bend, lie flat on the floor and just take a shavasana. You may want to let the hands go overhead. Now you can stay here doing supported bridge. You may want to do a little bit more, not a shoulder stand, but almost by letting the legs go up toward the sky. Hips are still on your block or your cushion. And let the feet float up, not energetically flexed or anything, just let them float up toward the sky. Just reversing the blood flow a little bit. If that's too much effort, you can bend the knees and let them sort of draw toward the chest, but your hips are still elevated. And wherever you are, bring your feet back down. And we're going to lift the hips just slightly. Slide that block or cushion out from under you and let the hips go down to the ground. And heel toe the feet out as wide as the mat and let your knees knock together. Just release the lower back. And then heel toe the feet together. So the bottoms of the feet go together. Knees go out to the side. You're in a Supta Baddha Konasana. And here is where we'll take our Shavasana. So you can stay here, or maybe let your legs go and stretch out in front of you into traditional Shavasana. Maybe one hand on the belly and one on the heart. Close the eyes. And just sink into the floor. Now, if you're comfortable and you want to rest here, stay right where you are. When you're ready, let the bottoms of the feet come back to the ground, knees go up to the sky. And then draw the knees in toward the chest, give them a squeeze. And then roll to one side and use your arm as a pillow. And then press into the ground, slowly, slowly. Come on up to sit. Find a comfortable seat. Hands to the knees, close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through an open mouth. I'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Breath fill your entire lungs and your abdomen. And let it all out. Bring the hands in prayer, bow the head slightly. Be well. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's class and you're looking for more, join me over on LSeaYoga.com. There you're going to find lots of classes and content that doesn't exist here on YouTube. Longer classes, complete beginner series, intermediate flows, lots of content that is commercial free and exclusive to the website. So if you're ready, join me on LSeaYoga.com and I'll meet you there.